Hi, this is Barry Schwartz. This is the search news we covered over the past week at the Search Engine Roundtable, seroundtable.com. My name, again, is Barry Schwartz, and today is Friday, April 8th. Lots to discuss, and I wanted to start right away. The first thing is we did the Webmaster Report, the Google Webmaster Report, which we do every month at the beginning of the month, and now we have an update for you for the month of April, since it is the first week of April. Basically, the main themes this week, this past month, were the Farmer, Panda update, some new features were added to Google's and new interfaces, and some SEO-related topics. A lot of people are still stuck in this Panda thing. There has been no real update in sight as of yet. Hopefully, we'll have some news for you in the upcoming month, but as of in the past, since the Panda release, has been no real significant update, no rollout. It didn't seem like the UK yet as well. At least nothing significant. That being said, we'll talk more about some more Panda stuff later. In terms of the recap, there's some new features released. Google's +1, like we discussed in the past. The stars were sunsetted. Google, you can now block certain search results or block sites within Google. Google told us this month that we have whitelists and exception lists. And Google News is testing out a new user interface. We discussed some logos and April Fool's pranks. So that was this past month. So let's move on to the new things of this week. So this week, at least this morning actually, I posted about Google Panda as well, and the Farmer update, and how sites do appear to be getting hit big time now again. So there seems to be a new rollout in the past couple of days of sites being hit by this Panda update, this Farmer update. I see a new thread at Webmaster World, as well as some updates from people complaining about this in the original threads, that their sites have tanked in the Google search results, which seem to be the results dropping as much as they did in the Panda Farmer release earlier on last month. So maybe Google's rolling out a new Panda hit. Doesn't seem like any sites have really come out of that Farmer update, but it seems like new sites are being hit by that. Again, too early to tell. Hopefully in the upcoming days we'll be able to tell you more about what's going on, and we have more information about this Panda update. Just take a look at April 8th at seroundtable.com for more information. Talking about Panda, it's always interesting to see Google respond to people in the forums when they complain about certain things. So earlier this week, Wiz, who basically posted that first thread, basically went ahead and smacked down pretty much a webmaster who was complaining that they were hit by Panda. The guy's like, I have all original content, I have the best site in the world, and then a Googler took a look at this specific site and said, hey, you're actually copying half your content from this site and that site, why don't you try to make original content? So he basically smacked down the guy for pretty much copying content as opposed to using any or enough original content, which is why he was hit by this Panda update in the first place. So I made a cute little Google Smacks logo and stuff. It was pretty cute, and put it on the blog. That was April 4th at seroundtable.com. Talking about original content, this morning I did another post citing a video Matt Cutts did this week about original content and what to do when somebody steals your content and that stolen content outranks your content, which is the original content. And it's not that uncommon. It happens here and every now and then. Matt Cutts went through the various reasons why it might happen, as well as what to do to make sure your content is found first. Google said, which is interesting, is they crawl really fast. Everybody knows that, but Google actually said that Google pretty much could crawl the entire web in one shot. The problem is, if they did that, they might take down the whole entire internet. So that's why Google doesn't do that. At the same time, Google does crawl really fast, so they do a pretty good job of finding content first. They say they do try to prioritize things based on PageRank on occasion when they can't figure it out. At the same time, tweeting out your stories might help Google because those tweets are more fresh and Google can find the content faster, as well as using something called Hubbub, which is basically a way to feed out your content to different channels and partners. Google said that might be reduced over time, but right now Hubbub is one of those factors. Also, if somebody does outrank you and they steal your content, use the DMCA request, google.com/DMCA. That will legalize they'll basically try to get them to remove your content from their site. Also, submit a spam report, because if somebody is doing that, it's against Google's guidelines, and they could be penalized for doing such a thing. Anyway, we have more information about this video with a link and everything like that on today, April 8th, at seroundtable.com. speaking about updates, it seems like Bing may have done an update. There hasn't been much discussion around it. Usually with Bing updates, most people don't really talk much about it because it's it's only 20 or 30% of search market share. At the same time, people just SEOs and webmasters don't pay much attention to it. But they are paying more attention to it, and it seems like some people are saying there was some type of update to the Bing search algorithm and search index. Bing has not confirmed anything, but we have a post about it on April 4th at SEOroundtable.com. This makes me sick a little bit, so I don't know if I want to really talk about it, but I'm going to talk about it in general. Basically, there's spammers out there. Everybody knows that, but when there's spammers who go ahead and target children with porn sites, it just crosses the line. Basically, somebody pointed out in the Google forums that if you did a search for Easter egg coloring pages or certain types of coloring pages, when you clicked on the image, which looked like basically a fill-in color Easter egg, which is perfectly harmless, you click on it, up comes a redirect to a porn site, which takes obviously somebody who's searching for childhood type of material to a porn site. It could be a child, it could be a parent with a child on their lap, and I just find that to be despicable. And I don't blame Google per se. I definitely blame these spammers out there who are doing something so immoral and so unethical. Anyway, that's my rant. Let's move on to the next thing. So Google, it was pretty interesting. Google announced on their security blog that they are stepping up their ways to improve SSL certificate security. They're doing various things to try to make a better standard for SSL and the web and certificates. But in terms of crawling and webmaster stuff, they pointed out that they actually do store the SSL certificate information as part of their web crawl. They say they store the first number of the day that they actually crawled and got that certificate. They store the most recent day they got the certificate and the number of days between those 2 dates. Plus, they actually look for see if the certificate passes and is correctly signed by that domain or one that matches the certificate. So it's interesting to see that Google actually does store store SSL certificate information. Would they use that as a ranking factor? Maybe they use that as the motion factor. It's not exactly sure if they actually use that data yet, but maybe it's possible that they could use that in the future. We had a lot of discussion about this. We wrote about this yesterday, April 7th. If you want more information, definitely check that out. This is a great post by Tedster at the Webmaster World Forums. Basically, he took an article from CIO magazine about the top 10 things that CIOs can learn from the popular game, Angry Birds. And he went ahead and wrote about the top 10 SEO lessons people can learn from Angry Birds. And he went through it. It's a pretty popular article, and he's getting probably a lot of traffic from it. Basically, you got to play by the rules. You got to succeed. You got to succeed best when your site's unique contributions are recognized. I was going to list them off. You can't recover from really bad starts. Different problems require different specialties. Blowing something up isn't necessarily felt everywhere. Most improvements are incremental. Just because you master one task doesn't make you a master of all tasks. You can never do the same thing exactly the same way. Some goals require more birds, and there is more than one way to win at this game. So it's very interesting to take a look at this post. He goes through it in more detail. We posted about it on April 5th. Definitely take a look at that if it's fun to read. Another thing that posted in the Webmaster World was, could you use Google's custom search, google.com/CSE, build your own custom search engine, and use that to go ahead and see if you have a penalty? Because everybody knows Google's custom search is a bit outdated in terms of their index. They probably don't apply as many filters to that search index. They probably have different filters. So maybe if you check your rankings in there and compare it to the rankings in Google, maybe that's a way to figure out if you have a Google penalty or not. Just one more tidbit for you. I'm not sure if it's valid or not. Google has finally given voice phone support for AdWords advertisers in North America, including Canada and the US. All you got to do is call 866 to Google, and you get a live person between 9 a.m. and 8 p.m. Eastern Time, Monday through Friday. Honestly, I always thought they had this. I've called that number several times, asked for help, and they've given me help for free. So I'm not sure what's going on, but they announced it officially. It is a free advertiser support for US and Canada between those times for AdWords advertisers. So there you have it. People are pretty happy about it, actually. Speaking of AdWords, it seems like the AdWords position preference is going away. So if you ever bid different bids based on your position of the ad, that feature is being pulled out. It's been a feature since 2006, and they decided that it's no longer valuable. There's actually a lot of pitfalls around targeting average position, according to Google's chief economist, Hal. And he went through a post explaining why, but it's been around since 2006. Some advertisers have relied on it and used it for a long time, so they're upset about it. Anyway, there are ways to still continue to use it using Google's new automated rules. If you want more information about how to do that, go ahead and check out our post on April 7th. That being said, if you go there right now and you want to turn it on, you pretty much can't. They won't allow you. It says it's been discontinued. But if you have ads running on it right now, it will still start using it. But starting in early May, they're going to go ahead and disable it and put you back to basically a manual maximum CPC for that bid. So you got to be careful. You probably want to go ahead and change those bids right now and maybe start using automated rules if you want to start using it. We have more information about this on April 7th at SEOroundtable.com. Speaking about AdWords, again, the local search trends data was removed from the Google Keyword Tool. So now if you want to export a lot of this data about the local search trends, it has been somewhat removed from the export. So now Google confirmed it, and basically Scott, Google engineer from the Keyword Tool, from the AdWords Keyword Tool, said, in an effort to provide the best experience for our Keyword Tool users, we often experiment with ways to offer statistics that are simpler to look at and interpret. When we noticed that most advertisers were using local search trends column in the Keyword Tool, we decided to experiment with removing the column. Now, if you want this back, Google recommends that you go to fill out a survey and tell them you want it. We have links and have more information to that survey on April 4th at SEOroundtable.com. We have a question. Is Google Panda roll over to in the UK? No, I don't believe so. There are some rumors that it has, but from what I see, it has not rolled out to the UK as of yet. There are some rumors that things are happening soon, so stay tuned and I'll keep you updated. There are some people who said it rolled out, but I don't believe it has yet. All right, moving back on to Google. Next topic is we wrote a poll about auto completions. Basically, Google's being sued, or not, has been sued in Italy and some other places about their auto suggestions, saying that it can't be used for when you type in, let's say, Barry Schwartz is, and it comes up, is a bad person. I could go ahead and, if I was in Italy, sue Google to remove that search suggestion because it's derogatory towards me or derogatory towards whatever, and it may be bad for my, I don't know, whatever. So in Italy, if that happens, you can go ahead and force Google to remove it. The funny thing is, if you type in Google is, up comes Google is evil. The question is, should Google go ahead and allow people, should Google go ahead and filter out derogatory auto-completions? Most people in our survey said no, but some people said yes. We have a survey about this on April 6th. Definitely take it out and take a look at that. It will be pretty useful to see. I'll show you, bring up my screen so you can see it. Google News is testing out a new, what I call clusters design. I call it clusters because we reported a few weeks ago that Google announced a new clusters design. That being said, the new cluster design is pretty much more social. If you take a look at that, I'll pump up my screen a little bit. And you can see that the new design. We have screenshots for this on April 4th at SEOroundtable.com. If you take a look at it, it's pretty neat. And I definitely recommend you take a look. It's neat. April Fools. We discussed a lot about the April Fools pranks last week. It was pretty crazy. But one thing we missed was the tilt. Go to your iPhone, open your Android phone right now. To open it up right now, take your Android phone, your mobile phone. It works on Android or on iPhone. Go to Google, on Safari, or on the browser, type in tilt, T-I-L-T. You'll see the page tilts a bit on the search results. It's pretty cool. I'm going to bring up my screen so you can see it. And bump it up a bit. I don't know if you can see that, but basically you can see the screen tilts a little bit. It works with Askew, works with some other queries. It's pretty neat. It was an April Fool's by Google, and it works pretty well. It's definitely worth maybe tricking somebody in your family about this because it's just pretty cool. You can say they're crazy, their head slanted or whatever. Anyway, this past Sunday there was a Google Doodle for ice cream, the ice cream sundae, or Sunda as some people call it, and Google had a very nice doodle. It was the 119th anniversary of it. There was a lot of controversy around it, actually. People were saying, no, it wasn't done here, it wasn't done on this date. That being said, that article landed me about 60,000 visits because I wrote the controversial topic towards it, and it landed me hundreds of thousands of, it landed me hundreds of comments, like 200, 300 comments with 60,000 plus visits, so it was pretty cool. Anyway, that pretty much recaps the search buzz. Gab says there was no Mother's Day logo. That's true. There was no Mother's Day logo in the UK. That was another part of the controversy. Thanks for bringing that up. Anyway, that covers the Search Buzz video recap. My name, again, is Barry Schwartz. Today is Friday, April 8th. Everyone have a great weekend, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.